Today we're going to talk about why omnichannel routing is required in Salesforce. It is not about the Salesforce, but generally in any service cloud implementation, the omnichannel routing is required because it actually enhances the customer experience too long on web chats or on a calls. So by implementing this feature, which is available out of the box from Salesforce, we're actually improvising our agent efficiency. We're also making sure that we're optimizing our resource utilizations. As I was mentioning earlier, it streamlines your case management solution. So in Salesforce, out of the box, we have two major kind of routing configuration. One is queue-based routing, other is skill-based routing. The queue-based routing, as its name says, when the case comes in into Salesforce, it gets assigned to a queue or landing area, and depending on the agent's availability and how we have configured the routing configuration, it gets picked up by the agents. And then we have skill-based routing. Take an example of the skill-based routing. If the case coming in from into Salesforce via web and the customer is looking for any agent who speaks assigned to the user, the case will be routed to a French speaking agent. So that's how the Salesforce routing configuration is. Then we have external routing. If we want the configuration to be set outside of Salesforce, that's also an option available in Salesforce. And then we have direct to agent routing. When it's actually depending on the supervisor, they can review the queue backlog or skill backlog in Omni supervisor dashboard, and they can assign it directly to an agent as per the availability. So let's get into demo and hands-on exercise for the queue-based routing. So first thing first, when you're logging the Salesforce environment, make sure the omnichannel setting turned on. So let's go to omnichannel settings. It's already now. Once that is done, make sure that we have a service channel configured. One major thing over here, service channel is not supported for all other custom or standard objects. So make sure you refer the help document before creating any service channel. I've created a service channel for a Salesforce object, which is case. So I want my case to be routed very efficiently when it's come via web or email or any channel. So once that is done, the next step would be we configure routing configuration. Once you have routing configuration, let me show you what are different settings available out of the box in Salesforce. So as we're implementing queue-based routing, so we'll not check this use skill-based routing rules checkbox. It will be unchecked. Now there's also sometimes a use case that there is too many cases coming in getting assigned to Q1. We don't want our queue to get overloaded. So if there's any overflow happening at any queue level, we can actually assign it to a generic case management queue. So that's also another feature available. And then we have this routing model over here. It's very critical in configuring your routing configuration. We have least active, most available, external routing. As we're gonna talk about just queue-based routing today, we'll set it to least active. What does that mean is, take an example. You have two agents working for an ABC Corp. One of the agent has too many cases assigned to them and one has very less. So when a new case comes in, it checks which agent has less cases so that the next case coming in will get assigned to the least active user. It doesn't mean that a user is not active and all those things. I know it's kind of confusing. How does this make sense is, when the case comes in, it actually getting divided equally between an agent who has more cases and the agent who has less cases. So once that is configured, we're just gonna click save. The next step would be creating a queue. So queue is nothing but just a landing area. As I mentioned earlier, you can create any queue name. Let's name it as demo session 1. You can give a queue email if required. Description is optional, and this is where you see the routing configuration. Now we have configured a routing for cases, so we also need to select the case over here so that this queue is available for the case object when it's come to the case assignment. So we'll just search case and then move it to the right, and we can add some members over here. Let's say demo user, some other users depending on the requirement. Select the routing configuration over here and click save. So we have routing configuration. Now the next step would be we have presence status configuration. What does this do is, basically we have different presence status available, and depending on each organization may have different meaning to available, different meaning to busy, on break. So all those status you can configure here in Salesforce, like available, or it can be your on break. Online means when it's like kind of different status, like available and available for a minute. This both means available, right? So what we'll do is we'll create these two status in your present status, and then we'll make that as online. What does this mean is, when it's online, the user is available to pick any of the new cases coming in. If it's busy, the new cases will not route to this user. So once this present status is created, you can actually assign this to any of a channel or routing channel, service channel you have configured. So once that is done and you have presence configuration already being configured in Salesforce. The next step is go to your user and make sure that the profile has that status as being assigned to that user. So let me go to user detail and then profile, and here you will see presence status, enable service presence status access. So make sure you have adding those status over here by clicking edit, and you will see all the available status, and then you can move to the right. You also have to make sure sometime what happens that the omnichannels doesn't show up. So we will be talking about one major settings that needs to be turned on. So let me just duplicate this tab. So the next step would be adding the omnichannel tab on any of your application where you want the agent will be logging in and opening that app, and they will be staying in that app and working with the cases. So I'll just go to app manager, and app manager will search for an application, let's say service application, this one, and then we click edit. Once we edit, you will actually see a lot many options available for that app. And for us, the major thing or the important thing is utility items. We actually need to add omnichannel as one of the utility item. Utility item is nothing but a small bar which shows up when you open any application. So we're adding that omnichannel over here. It's already added. So we can just search add utility item and search omnichannel and add it. Once it is done, now it is time to test this case. So let's go to cases. First of all, let's go to service app, service console demo app. As I already configured the omnichannel, so you're getting this message that you want to log into your omnichannel and make it available. I'll just go say continue, and then I'll just flip the status to available. There's already one case in a queue, so that's why I'm getting this message of a case. But let's just hide it up for a minute, and then just kind of, this is a case already created in Salesforce. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just assigning it to the queue where we are configure the routing configuration, the new case record over here, and then we need to make sure that it get assigned and get picked up by available agent, that is me right now. So I'll just create a new case and then just give a region to a phone and then just save. Now I'm not getting notifications for now, but as soon as I assign it to the appropriate queue where I've configured routing configuration, we get notifications from Omnichannel. So let me change the queue and then GA Q1, just change owner. So I got the message a few seconds ago, 001 and 3, this one. So I can pick it up from here as soon as I click yes. So it got assigned from GAQ to my user. And we also have Omni Supervisor, where supervisor can view the backlog of backlog, queue backlog, assign work, skill backlog, and then the service reps all available and what are their workloads and their percentage of capacity and all those things over here. So yeah, that's it for queue-based routing configuration. Stay tuned for our next video. We'll be talking about skill-based routing in Salesforce.